helped them win that game 77-74. A remarkable turnaround in that game. Down 20 at half-time. Underway at the North Shore Event Centre. Paul Hanare gives it to Mika Vakona. Drives. Loses it. Gary Wilkinson, though. He'll miss. Davidson with the rebound.
And you see the Breakers looking to try and take advantage of Oscar Foreman there. They got the switch, and Larry Davidson was able to keep Mika Vakona out of the paint.
Oscar Foreman had a big game here in that Wollongong win. Double-double for the former Breaker. Turnover. Mika Vakona, a push from Matt Campbell. And Abercrombie, he'll get the basket and 2 points. Excuse me, and a free throw to come.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and Mika Vakona got pretty lucky with that save right there. Great hustle to get the ball back in bounds, and fortunately for him, you see it goes straight to Thomas Abercrombie, who grabs the foul and finishes strong, and that's a great start for him coming off that great performance he had last weekend.
Matt Campbell with the sneaky push on Mika Vakona to try and maybe stop that fast break.
He's got to take a little bit more than a sneaky push to get Mika to slow down.
Vakona hits the free throw. Conrad, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Foreman, fall away over Mika Vakona. And he'll go to the line.
And that's a situation where, as a defender, you got to be really careful. You force the offensive player, in this case Oscar Foreman, for the shot that you want him to take. He's fading away towards the baseline. Difficult shot with the backboard in the way there. But just try to get a little too aggressive with the defense. Got his hand, slapped the forearm, puts him to the line for 2 free throws.
He's really found a place in Wollongong where he's comfortable with his defense and his rebounding, and his offensive game has taken another step up.
Well, he's always had that offensive skill, but if he can become a more consistent rebounder, it really opens the door for just having a great season.
Averaging around 6 rebounds a game for the Hawks. They are the worst rebounding team in the league, though, as Kirk Penny misses a 3. But Tom Abercrombie gets the rebound. Kirk Penny drives, gives it to Vakona. Wide open 3. Air ball. Wilkinson catches it. And we have a whistle. Matt Campbell is called for the foul.
Matt Campbell felt a lot of contact on a couple of those possessions there by Mika Vakona. He might have got chucked to the ground one time and tried to give him a bit of a check back, and he gets called for it. And he's like, wait a minute, you got to call it on him if you're going to call it on me.
Yeah, the referees always seem to see the retaliation. And Mika Vakona gets called for his second foul in 1 minute and 34 seconds has gone off the clock, and Dylan Boucher is in the game.
Well, that you got to take the good with the bad with Mika Vakona sometimes. He plays so aggressively on the offense and the defensive end, always putting his body on the line. In that case, he's just trying to set the screen, gets a little too aggressive with it, and he gets his second foul. But you know, the Breakers are so deep now, they bring in Dylan Boucher.
Conrad back in and on Tom Abercrombie. Rolls foul on Tom Abercrombie. Wow, they're calling everything tonight. Tim Mills with the call. And the Wollongong Hawks will go to the line.
Good aggressive, strong move by Conrad there. Did a good job of taking to the basket, knowing that he probably has a bit of a weight advantage on Thomas Abercrombie. Got the contact, spun quickly, and got right up into the arms. Gets his way to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Conrad on the season, 10 points and 3 rebounds. Shooting the long ball at a great clip, though, at 46%, 47%. Speaking of shooting the long ball, Kirk Penny with the right-hand drive.
And he come out tonight looking quite aggressive. He's gotten up a couple shots already, and he's doing a good job lately of not settling for the jump shot, but really trying to take it to the rim.
Breakers with the early 5-3 lead in the first quarter. Mika Vakona already in foul trouble on the bench. Dylan Boucher's in. And a turnover for Wollongong. Larry Davidson took too many steps.
Well, he knew he had the size advantage, and he knew he was going to do something with the basketball, but he couldn't quite just make up his mind. Got a little caught there with the happy feet, and a good call by the officials going the other way.
Davidson himself just back from the injury list. No Glenn Saville tonight. Hopefully he'll travel to Melbourne and be able to play on Sunday night for the Hawks as Abercrombie elevates for that baseline jumper he likes so much. It hasn't really been dropping for him this season, but if that starts falling, they're in for a long night, are the Hawks.
That is a difficult shot to stop, no matter who's defending.
Davidson, tough drive, turnover. Good defense from Dylan Boucher. Mika Vakona would probably be thinking, that's the kind of defense I play. No foul call.
No foul called. Mika's always thinking that, but you see the Hawks there with back-to-back turnovers. If they hope to stay in this game, that's not the kind of basketball that they can keep playing. They've got to treasure that basketball and just treat it like gold every single possession.
Penny looking to get Campbell free off him. Gets the ball. Lucky not to have 3 seconds called on him. Hanare has it, 4 on the shot clock. Finds a roaming Dylan Boucher. Nice look from Paul Hanare.
And he had multiple Hawks sprinting out to find Kirk Penny in the wing, but they forgot about Dylan Boucher underneath the bucket.
Matt Campbell mismatch on Gary Wilkinson. He gets bumped, and Matt Campbell will go to the line. Good recognition there. Big Gary Wilkinson.
Not the fleetest of foot, Gary Wilkinson is there. But you see Matt Campbell saw that he had the mismatch, tried to take it to the cup. What you see the Hawks doing there is just running with intelligence, like Andre Lamont spoke of before the game. They're not always going to try and push it down on you offensively, but when they see the opportunity, see the numbers like they did this time for Matt Campbell. Good job there to get the mismatch, take advantage of the late transition break and get to the line for the free throws.
Well, that was the 4th team foul on the Breakers already in this quarter. 4-2. Breakers have the 9-5 lead. Hanare into the lane. Boucher catches it. Finds Wilkinson. Wilkinson over Foreman. Nice little running right-hander.
And he does a nice job finding his rhythm when he puts the ball on the floor. It really seems to help him find his touch.
Irvin seems to be moving pretty freely. Matt Campbell for 3. Can't get it. Dylan Boucher comes up with it. Kirk Penny pushing the ball. Goes around Campbell with ease. Can't get it to finish though. It's Paul Hanare. Penny for 3. He can't get it to drop. Came off Conrad, and the Breakers will have the ball.
And in the early going, the Breakers are doing a great job on the offensive glass. Taking good looks, but when they're missing them, they're getting a hand on it, giving themselves another opportunity and forcing the Hawks with a bit of a thin bench here without Glenn Saville to play even more defense.
So Conrad takes a seat. Reese Martin is in the game for the Hawks. Kevin Braswell. Not really a game to remember against Cairns. Hit a big 3 in the 4th quarter though. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well. Neither did Kirk Penny. Held to just 9. Good defense from the Taipans on Kirk Penny as they turn the ball over. Irvin seems to have his hops. Campbell has it, gives it to Foreman. Martin. Foreman underneath, no whistle. Breakers going the other way. It's a 4-on-1. Penny gets it back. 2 points for Kirk Penny.
And good recognition by Kirk Penny to give the ball up early. So the defender has to commit to Thomas Abercrombie because they're afraid to get dunked on. Thomas Abercrombie does a good job of recognizing that Kirk was open, and they finish with a layup.
Kirk Penny with 4 points. Tom Abercrombie has 5 for the Breakers. They lead 13-5. And Penny comes over the top of Davidson and is called for the foul. That is the 5th team foul. And they are shooting free throws for the next 4 minutes and 47 seconds.
And here we see the replay. Kirk Penny did a good job. Quick passes. Ball doesn't really hit the floor after Thomas Abercrombie does it. And a good, easy finish. That's the kind of baskets that the Breakers want to get. Game in, game out. And that's when they're at their best, is when they're pushing the ball and they're sharing it without regard to who's going to be the final scorer.
So the rest of the second unit is in for the Breakers. CJ Bruton, Corey Webster, Alex Pledger. Not a bad second unit, is it?
Yeah, second unit, wait a minute, that can't be the second unit. I see an import, I see CJ Bruton, I see Dylan Boucher, forward tall black, I don't know. It's quite a luxury for the Breakers to have to be able to bring in these guys off the bench.
13-7 Breakers lead. 4 minutes 40 to go. Kevin Braswell looking for someone. And that someone was Dylan Boucher, but the ball is tipped out. And the Breakers will get it back. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
8 seconds on the shot clock.
Breakers looking to really look after the ball tonight. Sometimes the passing gets a little errant. Webster puts it on the floor. Boucher tried to tip it in, no good. And the Hawks have it. Tyson Demos, he's in the game. Picks up his dribble, finds Oscar Foreman. Matt Campbell gives it inside to Davidson, going to work on Vic Pledger. And Alex Pledger is called for the foul.
See a lot of hands up from the Breakers. They don't know why they're getting the call, but so far in this early going, the officials seem to be calling those open hands on the back. When you turn around, that open hand from the back turns into an open hand in the chest, and that's the kind of contact that the referees are looking apparently to curtail tonight and keep from happening.
Well, Gary Irvin had a quick rest as Matt Campbell takes a seat. He sat down for about a minute.
Well, I think Gordon McLeod thinks he's had enough rest when he's had this injury break for the last few weeks here. So you've had your rest time. You're back on the traveling roster now. Get out there and get some game time going.
This is the second. There's Larry Davidson. The Breakers' lead is 5. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bruton finds Braswell. Boucher looking to pass it as he goes to work on Davidson, who just throws it over his shoulder and then sends Tyson Demos to the floor. Another foul for the Breakers.
More free throws once again. Breakers got to start to make a mental adjustment to the way the referees are calling this game. Got to slow down their aggressiveness defensively and just try and change the way they're playing a little bit. So far, I think it seems as though all the points here from the free throw line just about.
Well, they are. The Wollongong Hawks are 0 of 2 from the field. They have 8 free throws.
Well, you got to be pretty happy about being only 5 points down when you've only taken 2 shots and you've missed both of them.
The Breakers have committed 6 fouls in the first quarter. Nicomacona's got 2. Boucher, Pledger, Wilkinson, Abercrombie and Penny have all got 1 each. As Demos hits the first.
Well, that's the kind of game that the Wollongong Hawks can really force you into playing. You expect them to come in and get physical and sort of just kind of muck it up, get in your way, slow it down, and the Breakers have tried to respond with some physicality of their own, but they're taking a little bit too far and getting the fouls called on them.
Wow, the referees are setting the tone for tonight.
Sure makes for exciting basketball when the officials are making those calls. I'm sure as the game goes on, though, they'll loosen up a little bit. Right now, they're making a lot of calls trying to put their stamp on the game, but as it goes along, I'm sure the contact's going to be a little bit more allowable.
Webster, he takes a 3. He strikes it. Corey Webster.
And you've got to remember about the inbounder when he passes it in. The Hawks weren't quite set yet. Quick inbound, quick pass back, and the wide open jumper.
The Breakers, 6 of 14 from the field. Irvin gets in the lane, high off the glass. Nice help defense as Pledger and Boucher rose up. Boucher has it, gets in, initiates a contact on Berendorf. It won't drop. And it's going to the Wollongong Hawks. Well, the air's sort of been sucked out of this gym.
Yeah, not
Casey Frank.
Not a ton of atmosphere in here tonight so far. You know, it's 16-10, pretty decent scoring game. 3 minutes left in the first quarter, but I think the crowds here want to see maybe a dunk or something. You know, get somebody fired up. So far, we have a lot of free throws, a lot of missed layups. Got to do something to get the crowd fired up here, Breakers.
I could do with a dunk. I'd like to see a dunk, but at the moment, the Wollongong Hawks would like to have a field goal. They scored 10 points, all of it from the line. Demos, nice shake and bake. That won't drop. Braswell gives it up to Corey Webster. Tough layup. He can't get it to drop. Pledger, though, hunts it down. Boucher gives it back to Braswell. Tipped by the Hawks, and the Breakers will get it back. 17 to go on the shot clock, and BJ Anthony into the rotation. The 11th man on that Breakers bench with Nicomacoona in foul trouble. Andre Lamanis is looking for something from this young forward.
I'm just looking for some sort of spark to get this game going here a little bit. Get some energy involved in the game. And that's something that BJ Anthony does a great job of doing most of the time.
Bruton rises up. It's called for the contact as Tyson Demos. And CJ Bruton will go to the line. 14th foul on the Wollongong Hawks.
Doesn't seem to be a lot of flow to the game right now. Looks like guys are sort of still tentatively finding each other out. Sort of reminds me of maybe a title fight where the two heavyweights in the first round are sort of just tapping each other with the jab, trying to figure out what they're going to be able to get away with later on.
It always comes back to boxing, doesn't it?
Not always. Sometimes you can talk about other sports.
Sometimes as CJ Bruton hits the first free throw, boxing, it's the purest form of sport, some would say.
Some would say. I like my basketball, though.
Yeah, we all do. That's why we're here. CJ Bruton hits both free throws. 18-10, 9-point lead. Wollongong Hawks looking for their first field goal. Martin could have gone to the hole himself, but gave it up. Irvin looking to create. Foreman with the mismatch on CJ Bruton. Conrad had an open three, decided to put it on the floor. And Alex Pledger knocks the ball out with Wollongong. 2 seconds to shoot the ball on the shot clock.
Tim Conrad does need to do a better job of recognizing when he has the open shot. Only 5 seconds on the shot clock. He passed up an open look, almost gets a turnover out of it. Now they got to get a shot with only 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Behrendorff needs to do something with it, and that is a shot clock violation. Good work from the breakers. Gordy McLeod can't believe it. Shaking his head. There was a couple of opportunities in that set that they had. They could have actually shot the ball, and they declined to look for a better shot. It's Braswell. Front rims it, but gets it back. Webster gives it to Braswell. He goes baseline, drops it off, finds BJ Anthony. Has it slapped out of his hands, and the Hawks come up with it.
Does anybody want that basketball?
I don't think so.
Everybody's trying to give it away.
I'm not sure. Foreman giving it to Martin. Screen and roll. Behrendorff. Irvin skip past to Conrad, wide open for three as he's hit by Benny Anthony. No whistle on the foul. We have a sub instead. As Davidson and Gruber check in for the Hawks. Penny comes in for Corey Webster.
Well, you talked about Tim Conrad shooting the ball at a great clip this year, and you saw right there, nothing but net. Got a little bit of contact on his leg as the defender flew by. Dallas Pickering, the official, says, hey, you caused that by kicking the leg out. No call for you, but about time they got a bucket.
It's about time they got a bucket. 1:29 left in the first quarter was when they first got their first bucket. A three from Conrad. The lead is 5. Braswell, bounce pass into Benny Anthony. Nice work. The floor is your friend, Kevin Braswell, and Anthony will go to the line.
Great use of the pick and roll and great recognition by Kevin Braswell there. Came off, might have had a half look at the basket, but Benny Anthony does a good job of rolling, setting up at the post block, and finishes strong, which is something that he is so skilled at.
He doesn't see a lot of minutes in the first quarter as Benny Anthony. He's making the most of it at the moment. Converts the three-point play. Breakers' lead is 8. 1:10 to go. Penny on Conrad. Right up on him. Martin's guarded by Bruton. He gives it to Irvin. Troubled by a pelvis injury. Loses the handle. Gets it back. 4 seconds to shoot. Gary Irvin rises up and just rips a three. Gary Irvin. Back-to-back threes for the Hawks.
Well, you see a bit of the rust in Irvin's game right now. He went up for the first shot, couldn't quite get a handle on it. Didn't matter. I'll take the second one. Nothing but net.
Playing through some pain as Gary Irvin, as Kevin Braswell, another turnover. Averages close to 4 a game. Just a little bit of miscommunication there with Gary Wilkinson. Tyson Demos splits the double team in the open court. Conrad for another three. 3 threes in a row for the Wollongong Hawks, and the lead is cut to 2.
Somebody must have let them know they didn't have any field goals early in the quarter. They're trying to take care of it late, and they're really looking good shooting the ball right now.
Well, they're making up for it, are the Wollongong Hawks. As the Breakers hold for the last shot in the first quarter. Braswell finds Wilkinson, 3 to shoot, deep 2. He hits it. Got to get a shot off. No good. And the Breakers have the first quarter lead, 23-19. An odd quarter, you have to say. But the game has come to life with back-to-back threes from the Wollongong Hawks, and they've closed it to 4.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of sloppy basketball right now, but as you look at the scoreboard, still 23-19. Both teams are scoring the ball pretty efficiently. Maybe not the way you'd prefer to see it, with a lot of layups, a lot of fast breaks, but good hard basketball. Both teams playing excellent defense and really trying to force the other to work hard offensively.
Here we go. Are you ready? 3, 2, go! On the hop. It's the 3-legged hop. It's the 2-legged hop. They're going to dribble it off and pull back.
The shows, can you move back just a little? The shows here haven't been good, and the low man hasn't been good. We've got to establish who that is. There's confusion, and often we're getting this strong side guy having the catch because there's no low man. Okay? Guard, you've got to try and stay with it, because right now we're getting dragged on this and we're switching, and now there's confusion on the scramble and we're getting all messed up on that. Okay? With that hand, that high screen here, again, remember that guard try and chase underneath. Gary, you got to buy him some time there. You can't just get blown by. And if you do, you got to get back in the play. You're standing and watching it. At the offensive end,
Counter stuff, okay? Through hands. With the press, when we get down, you guys have got to get in the cutting lane. Okay? Be in the cutting lane.
and it's going to that wing with the ball screen. They're jumping off so fast. Don't make them dribble yet. That big slip because they jumping. Other person flash up.
Guy in the corner, you can play off that. Okay? We good? Who's possession here? Plenty? Hey, we want to go super. Okay?
Well, here we see the Hawks, who early in the quarter couldn't buy a bucket, but as it went down late in the quarter, they started taking advantage of the opportunities that the Breakers gave them. Tim Conrad did a great job of finding the open space, going with the shot, showing the good form, and nailing home 2 wide-open three-pointers in the transition break there.
Oceania Player of the Century, Winton Rufer, in the North Shore Event Centre, and his wife Lisa taking in the action at the North Shore Event Centre. Breakers up 23-19. The biggest lead they had was 8, but they went on a mini run, did the Wollongong Hawks of 6 points. Conrad, 2 of 2 from the three-point line. And we're underway in the second quarter. Wollongong Hawks looking to get into this lead and take it themselves. Conrad giving it to Campbell. Irvin shaped to shoot, drove instead. And Conrad going for another 3. Won't drop, but Davidson is there. And we have another foul. And Kurt Penny has palms to the air as Dallas Pickering called a foul on him.
Well, when do offensive basketball players ever get fouls called on?
Never.
Come on, that's
They never get fouled or commit a foul. They always get fouled, though. Nice slip from Conrad, but he couldn't get the basket to drop. As Kurt Penny gets the ball in rhythm, decided against shooting. Paul Nari on the baseline. Bruton for 3. Kona starts the second quarter and tracked down that rebound, and Penny comes up with it. Bruton wide open, head fake, another 3. That's better. CJ Bruton in rhythm.
See the Breakers coming out in the second quarter and putting a lot more pace on the ball, doing a better job of moving the ball around the basket to find that open man. You don't see it freezing in anybody else's hand for dribble after dribble.
Making the Hawks work on defense and finding that open man. The passes are crisper in the second quarter. Irvin left the line. Wilkinson tracks him down, though. Conrad gives it to Campbell for 3. That won't drop. Vicona, nice hustle on the rebound as Bruton crosses half court, drops it off. Gary Wilkinson comes up with it, but nice defense from Conrad. They're going the other way. Crosses over, does Conrad, gets in the lane, right hand finish, beautiful drive from Tim Conrad. Wilkinson, does that count? Yes, it does. Back the other way, big Gary Wilkinson, the trailer, you could say, and he's going to the line.
Well, it sounds like the team's heard a little bit of our commentary here. After what was a lackadaisical first quarter, they're off to the races here in the second. back and forth. You can't get enough action in here right now.
Excellent use of lackadaisical Casey Frank. Tim Conrad leads Wollongong with 9 points, but Gary Wilkinson came back the other way. And he's at the free throw line. He leads the Breakers with 6.
And that fast break was initiated by great recognition by Mika Vakona, getting the ball inbounds, seeing that Wilkinson was by himself at half court with a quick outlet pass, left it to Gary Wilkinson to do the rest of the work.
Breakers lead is 7. Irvin, Conrad, another 3. Gone a little bit cold from the three-point line as Conrad. In fact, the Hawks have. They can't get it to drop, but they do eventually. Larry Davidson with the hoop.
But the Hawks as well, after a cold and sluggish first quarter, looking a lot better here in the second, moving the ball around, attacking the rim with some aggressiveness, and just a better-looking offensive unit overall.
Vakona with the jump shot. He rips the net. Nice look from Mika Vakona, Casey.
And he's not known as a shooter, but when he catches the ball in rhythm, he can be dangerous, especially inside that three-point line.
Conrad has really looked to score tonight. He's going to the line and he is fouled. Reese Martin will check in the game, along with Alex Pledger. It's been a very, very aggressive Tim Conrad for the Wollongong Hawks.
With the absence of Glenn Saville, those points, those rebounds, those hustle plays that he normally gets that are so important to the Hawks, they have to come from somewhere else. And right now, Conrad's putting his hand up and saying, hey, I can deliver some of that. I may not be the veteran, the all-star 5 player that Glenn Saville has been over the years, but I've got my own skill set and I can bring it to the table, and he's doing a great job right now. And the Breakers have to do a better job defensively of finding where he is in the court.
Tim Conrad, 3 of 6 from the field. He has 11 for the Wollongong Hawks. Down 5 in the second quarter, 2.5 gone. Penny curls from up high, back of the rim. Martin comes down with it. Wollongong patient, finding the open man. Gruber curls in the key. And 2 points for Dave Gruber.
And Gruber, even though he's a bit undersized for a power forward, is really built powerfully and can take it to the basket and be really effective down there in the block.
Turnover Kirk Penny to Gary Irvin, who just crossed over everyone, got to the rim in about 1 step, and he's going to the line as Alex Pledger came across and banged him. And his team foul number 3 for the Breakers.
Good foul by Alex Pledger, but as I see Gary Irvin go to the hole there on that drive, I wonder how much his groin is really affecting him. Because earlier in the season, when you saw him get to the rim, he really exploded up towards the basket. Whereas tonight, he's had a couple of drives down the lane, and still, I think that groin maybe affected his game a little bit, not able to get that elevation that I saw from him that he was so good at earlier in the season.
Well, he seems to be elevating on his jump shot pretty fine. And he's pushing off okay. I'm not sure where else he would find discomfort.
A bit of a different movement, you know, catching and shooting. You don't have to step into it, don't have to run into it. And where he has been so effective this year is on those powerful drives, those quick drives.
Part of the issue, though, is we're causing ourselves trouble on defensive trends because we're turning over too much at the offensive end, all right? Continue to be aggressive early, hard on the rim, all right? Hard on the rim. If you don't have that, let the offense do some work for us. Get back to running. We've got trans, and get back to running a little bit of two shake here. All right, two shake, keep being aggressive at the rim. Here we go, boys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Keep building over 40.
So the Breakers shooting 12 of 26 from the field for the game so far, 46%. And the Wollongong Hawks 6 of 16. Down only 3 though. Free throws are keeping them in this one.
And quite a few Breakers right now in foul trouble. We see 1, 2, 3, 4 players up there with 2 fouls apiece, but not as big a problem as it could be for some other teams in the league because of the depth that the Breakers have. Even when somebody gets in foul trouble, there's somebody else who can come in and replace. Andre Lamanis right now putting on the brave face and playing Mika Vakona with those 2 fouls, taking the gamble that he won't get the 3rd here in the first half.
There are 4 Breakers with 2 fouls apiece in the game. Pledger, Abercrombie and Penny joined Vakona, Nick Campbell and Tyson Demos with 2 apiece for the Hawks. As Gary Irvin makes the first from New York City. 5'11" point guard, the leading scorer in the league. He misses the second. As Abercrombie comes up with it, gives it to Hanare. Lob pass to Pledger, who just lays it up in nice and softly. Nice touch from the big man and a nice look.
And that's what you want your 7-footer to do. Sprint down the court, put your nose on the rim, and if you're open, throw it high, let him finish right at it.
Nice defense from the breakers. And Hanare fired it into Thomas Abercrombie, but got it back. Vacona in the post. Davidson on him. Drives baseline. Oh, lovely reverse layup from Mika Vacona.
And great quickness shown by Mika Vacona there. Larry Davidson was trying to take away the baseline, but Mika Vacona just caught the ball, ripped through to the baseline. He's just too quick with a pretty finish with the one hand. Great job by Mika Vacona there.
Absolutely. Mika will take a seat, as does Paul Hanare. Braswell is in the game, and Dylan Boucher. Gruber looking for somebody, finds Irvin, who gives it to Martin. Dumps it off to Davidson, but a little bit low, and in the passing lane. The Hawks will get it back, 6 to shoot.
Good job defensively there by the breakers. Had the penetration by Martin, but they were able to come back and take away the passing lane after he got his players open.
Good cut by Oscar Foreman. Not a good finish. Bumped a little bit on the way up, but they will get it back.
And it looks like the score bench there gave him a shot clock reset, even though I don't think the ball hit the rim on that Oscar Foreman shot. Surprised the breakers aren't putting a little bit more of a protest on that one.
Well, Andre went up to the score bench with the Manos and asked and gave it a, oh, okay. So it must have hit something, or the referee indicated that it did. So shot clock reset. 6-point lead for the breakers. Conrad into Foreman. Irvin has it. Pledger pops out, stops the dribble. Foreman for three, hand in his face, falls to the ground. The shot won't drop, and Braswell comes away with it. And Oscar Foreman is pulled up a little bit lame. It's Boucher, wild layup, got bumped, no whistle. Abercrombie has the ball. Oscar Foreman's not healthy at all, and this is not good news for the Wollongong Hawks.
Looked like he came down on somebody's foot on that missed three-point shot and struggled a little bit to get back down the court.
I think Alex Pledger got about 5 rebounds then, as Kirk Penny has his layup poked up from underneath by Dave Gruber. You can't do that. Obviously, the basket will count, and Oscar Foreman is taking a seat as Larry Davidson comes into the game, and we have a timeout to Wollongong as they recollect themselves and survey that 8-point deficit that they face.
And here you see the great drive by Kirk Penny, but even better job earlier in that possession of Alex Pledger to get 3 tips on the basketball, tipped it from the basket from underneath the rim all the way out past the 3-point line to get the save, and he gets his team that extra percentage. Even though he doesn't get assist on the play, it really was his responsibility.
All right, let's go down and hear what Gordy McLeod has to say to his Wollongong Hawks.
Emphasise enough, you must box out. When the shot goes up, you've got to move that big fella and get out his legs and get off balance. If you go and stand a rebound, they're going to win it all night. So shot goes up, you've got to get some contact. Okay, we got to start playing smarter here. At the offensive end of the floor, keep getting it through hands is fine. Okay, set up here where we got our 2 guards coming up, our big. You're back here. So when we get it in, we're straight into up 5. Okay, we good? Here we go, Hawks. 1, 2, 3.
Well, the New Zealand Breakers are one of the best rebounding teams in the NBL, and the Wollongong Hawks, while they're dead last, averaging 32 rebounds, KC, and Gordy McLeod wants more effort on the boards.
Yeah, when you have a 7-footer out there like Alex Pledger, somebody has to get a body on him. That's his job when he gets out there, is to get around the rim, get his hand on the offensive rebound, tip it out to his teammates. And so far, the Hawks haven't been doing a great job of finding those players underneath the basket and boxing them out and keeping them out of the paint so they can get the ball and go the other way offensively. Well,
Tom Abercrombie picks up the foul on the backcourt. Seems to be the story of the night for the Breakers. So he takes a seat. CJ Bruton comes in the game. 14 fouls for the Burger King Breakers. Davidson finds a cutting Irvin, who almost dunked it. off a 2-foot takeoff.
Maybe I was wrong about his groin feeling a little bit ginger. He looked pretty athletic right there.
Yeah, nice elevation from the 5'11" guard. 6-point lead to the Breakers. Penny curling, long two. Davidson comes down with a rebound, poked away by Boucher, but Wollongong control it. Irvin pops, and that drops. Gary Irvin, 4 straight points for Wollongong.
And that's what the Hawks want to see. When he's in the game and he's dialed in, he's one tough player to stop.
Dylan Boucher just held Tim Conrad through that screen. No whistle. Penny goes again. Front of the rim this time. Wollongong only down 4 now. Gruber hauls it in, puts it over Pledger, but it won't drop. Looking for an outlet, finds Braswell. That's 2 on 3 for the Breakers. He does have a mismatch if he wants it, and he'll shoot over Davidson.
The Breakers right now just falling in love with the jump shot, not being aggressive to the basket at all.
Nice effort from Larry Davidson underneath the hoop, and Wollongong are getting the effort on the glass that Gordon McLeod demanded from them.
And a bit of a mismatch defensively for the Breakers in the transition there. CJ Bruton ended up with Larry Davidson underneath the basket. And Larry Davidson said, I'm too big for you. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this rebound and put it back.
He has 4 rebounds for the game, Larry Davidson. Bruton for 3. And Davidson again with the defensive rebound was fouled, and that is team foul number 5. They're in the penalty, and the Hawks are going to the free throw line.
And after 3 straight misses from the perimeter, the Breakers come back with another 3-point shot, only shooting 2 for 10 from the 3-point line right now. Really like to see them look to do something different offensively, try and get the ball inside. We brought back in Gary Wilkinson back into the game, so Andre Lamontis is probably hoping that he'll give them a bit more of a post presence.
These will be free throws, 17 and 18 for Wollongong in the first half.
And you couldn't have scripted it any better if you were the Wollongong Hawks. This is actually the kind of game that they want to play. This slows it down. It keeps the Breakers from being able to get into that fast break offensive flow that they like to play with so much. And it keeps them, with a bit of a thin bench, with Glenn Saville out with injury still, from getting too tired when we come down to the stretch in the second half.
And it seems as though Oscar Foreman still isn't prepared to come in the game. He doesn't look great. The facial expressions aren't positive for Wollongong on the bench as Kirk Henny sits down.
Well, he's still got the shoes on. I don't see any ice on there, so I'd be surprised if we didn't see Oscar Foreman back in the game.
Braswell, nice drive with the left hand.
But there you see the Breakers didn't settle for the jump shot. They took it to the basket aggressively, and good things happened.
Reese Martin with the contact and the nice soft running finish as he was fading away. That will count, and he will go to the line to tie the game at 38.
And Reese Martin played a really important role for the Hawks last year during their run to the championship game. And here you see the skill level that he has. Great move, gave him a little shake and bake, took it right to the cup, and it just kind of cupped it. Didn't even look like he really had his hands on it. Was able to grab it with the one hand and just float it in. Tough shot.
So he sinks it. We're all tied at 38, and Foreman is back in the game for the Hawks. Reese Martin just curling it into his ribs, it seems. Pre-gathered it. An acrobatic shot. Nice work. The Breakers, the gym, you can hear the sneakers on the parquet floor as Gary Wilkinson gets a wild shot off. It won't drop, but the Breakers have it back. Webster in the game for 3. That drops. Corey Webster, instant offense off the bench for the Breakers.
That's the kind of 3-point shot that the Breakers love to take. Got the offense rebound, tipped it out to CJ Bruton. He did a good job of swinging it quickly to the corner where we had a wide open Corey Webster. He was right there for the 3-point shot.
Leaders back to 3 as Mika Vakona checks into the game. Dylan Boucher, he'll take a seat on the floor for Wollongong. Gruber, Conrad, Martin, Irvin, and Foreman. The Breakers have Braswell, Vakona, Bruton, Wilkinson, and Webster. Lost it on the way up to Irvin. 1 to shoot. Oh, wow, Reese Martin. He is feeling it tonight.
Reese Martin comes alive, gets the floater, comes back with a dagger 3-point shot at the end of the shot clock.
Excellent work from Reese Martin. 6 straight points for the backup guard. Webster looking for 6 straight himself, no good. Mikavakona, the tireless effort on the offensive glass.
And so tough to keep off the offensive glass, Mikavakona is. He just has such a high motor, he just can't stop him.
Well, we have a game, ladies and gentlemen. It's the second quarter. As the shot is missed, the Hawks are well in this one. They are a tough, tough team, and they've been down this road before, especially the last 7 games with injuries. And they're looking to pick up another win in this building against the team who are leading the NBL. Wilkinson, nice effort, down low, and he'll go to the line.
And a more determined effort by the Breakers here as the second quarter rolls on to work the ball offensively and try and get into the post, get a bit more of a post presence. That time they just toss it into Gary Wilkinson, say, go to work, big fella. He did what he did so well, and he gets to the line. Here we see him, bangs the ball down, does a good quick spin move, catches the defender out of position. He's forced to foul or give up the layup.
The big reason why they're in this game, the Wollongong Hawks, is they have shot 19 free throws. They've made 15 of them for 79%. But the Breakers aren't shooting particularly well themselves, just 18 of 40 for 45%.
Hey, Gary,
3 of 13 from behind the arc. Let's go now, listen to Coach McLeod.
We want that, but we can get that same thing after we use it for a bit. And just pull them, okay? Get the second side, get our kickbacks. We play off that. You guys have got to get organised on that weak side with what's going on. Okay? For us, our next possession, this one here. Same thing, our up 5 start. Get it down. If there's something there, take it. If not, reverse and play. Okay? Next couple of possessions, we want to use full shot clock. Okay? We good? Hawks, 1, 2, 3. Defensively, we catch 1.
Well, Gordy McLeod is right. The Hawks are doing a good job of controlling this tempo, and he wants more of that. And that's exactly what Andre Lemanis didn't expect. When I asked him if they think that they'll slow it down pre-match, he said, no, not really. And that's what's working for them at the moment. They're only down 2.
Well, they are still pushing the ball offensively, but defensively, they're doing a great job of slowing the ball down. And a lot of that comes from all these free throws they do have. Going to the line 19 times. That's 10 possessions that the Breakers don't have a chance to get the ball out and break down quickly because the Wollongong Hawks defense is already set.
Wilkinson at the line. 1 of 2. Mikavakona, another offensive rebound for him. Not very good boxing out there by the Hawks. Less than a minute to go. Breakers up 3, 44-41. Webster, Martin on him, shut off the drive, goes again, needs to get a shot off, just throws it up to Mika off the backboard, can't drop. Berendorf finally reels it in for the Hawks, who come away with it. Irvin gets into the lane, wonderful, wonderful layup from Gary Irvin. Man, he can play.
Well, he catches the ball on the wing in transition and hits the side of the hole. That's a lot of quickness there on the wing.
Just went right around Gary Wilkinson and just kissed it off the glass with the reverse layup. 6 seconds shot clock differential for the game clock. Wollongong will get it back if they can get the rebound if there's a miss. Braswell, there is a miss. No, it's not. He gets the shooter's touch. 4 seconds to get a shot off. Irvin out of control. Good defense from Mikavakona. And the Breakers will have 1.7 seconds to get the final shot off in the half.
And great job by Mikavakona there, riding that fine line between good physical defense and a foul. He's already got 2 fouls, but he didn't care about getting that 3rd one. He just wanted to play good, solid defense, forces a turnover, gives them another possession here with 1.7 seconds left. Great opportunity for the Breakers to put another dagger into the backs of the Wollongong Hawks.
Andre Lemanis wants to draw up a play, burned one of his last timeouts. Let's find out what he has to say.
Mika, you got G here, CJ, CG, back pick, Tommy's here, G, you got him there, over the top, all right, Mickey, you got this, and open up, okay, now wherever it goes, if it doesn't go to Tom, KB, like you throw it and step straight back in bounce, And that guy here from Gary or from Mika goes straight back to KB stepping in. Okay, so you've got Tommy over the top. Okay, if you don't have that, you either got G or you got Mika and coming straight back to KB to the three.
They go zone, try and get on the outside of that one. And this could be a shot in the corner right here if they zone it.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, that's the luxury of having Thomas Abercrombie in the game right now. So athletic, they're just going to try and toss it up at the rim, see if he can't get that dunk. But if he doesn't get it, then they've got the other shooters there looking for the quick shot.
You can throw it up anywhere around the backboard on either side, and Thomas Abercrombie can probably go and get it for you and put it down. 1.7 to go. Let's find out if it comes off for the Breakers. Wilkinson gives it to Braswell. A deep three. Good if it goes. It's an air ball. Breakers 46-43 at the half. The Wollongong Hawks are more than in this. The banged-up Wollongong Hawks. And they're looking to pick up another road win against the New Zealand Breakers as we're underway in the third. On the floor for the Breakers, Hanari, Vicona, Abercrombie, Penny and Wilkinson. Abercrombie rises to three. Can't drop. Mika Vicona gets the offensive board though. Good start for the Breakers. Cleaning up on the glass again against the worst rebounding team in the competition.
And if you're the worst rebounding team, you don't want to be facing Mika Vicona. He's just being a beast tonight on the basketball glass.
Certainly is, as Foreman misses the jump shot. Hawks leading scorers, Conrad and Gary Irvin. Kurt Penny couldn't get it to drop. As Irvin comes away with it, gives it to Foreman up high. Matt Campbell, 2 assists away from 1,000 in his career. Left-hand drive, spin move by Irvin, rises up over Hanare, can't get it to finish. And it's that man again, Vicona, second rebound of the game, of the quarter, excuse me. Hanare with the ball, Irvin right off him. Vicona faces up on Foreman, spins, whistle, and he walked.
Looked like a pretty good move. Mika Vicona did a good job of facing up, trying to use his quickness against Oscar Foreman, but the official thought he had a little bit too much happy steps there, and back to the Wollongong Hawks. Not the greatest of calls, I'm not sure.
Wollongong down 5, never led in the game. They've tied it, but they have not had a lead. Davison working on Wilkinson, fall away. Guess who got the rebound? Mika Vicona.
It's a pretty good guess. It's I think it's looking to become somewhat of a theme here tonight, is Mika on the rebounds. Doing a great job, not only on the offensive glass, but boxing out defensively, putting his body on the line. He's using the left arm to box out there and grabs the ball with one hand, then gets fouled.
9 rebounds for Mika Vicona, along with 8 points. And the Breakers are cleaning up the glass at the moment against the Wollongong Hawks. Kenny looking to get something going. He's been kept quiet somewhat as 3 Hawks are on him. 4 to shoot. Hanari sees it, left-hand drive. Wilkinson from the corner. Irvin comes away with it. And Hanari picks up the cheap foul to stop the fast break.
Good job by the Breakers there to work the ball around, get everybody involved in the possession. Had a good look there at the end of it. Just couldn't quite get it, and Molinari does a smart foul, which looked like the Hawks had a bit of a fast break going on.
28-16, the rebound advantage for the Breakers. Campbell into the lane, scoop shot. Mika Vicona slaps it out as Penny comes away. He loses the handle with the crossover. Davidson gets it to Irvin. He loses the handle. Regathers though. Vicona on him. Conrad's guarded by Abercrombie. Conrad had a great first half for the Hawks. Really got them going. And he's continuing it as he sucked the air out of the gym.
Well, confidence will get you going, and he hit those shots early, and he's playing with a lot of confidence now. That's a tough shot for the young fellow to hit.
It's just a 3-point lead for the Breakers. Penny off the glass. 2 points for Kurt Penny.
And you see they're not trying to settle for the jump shot as they were late in the second quarter. They're doing he's once again doing a better job of trying to drive to the rim.
Foreman for 3. Hanari with the rebounds. Whistle on the floor.
A little bit of tussle underneath the basket between Mika Vakona and Larry Davidson there. According to the call, I think Davidson got a little bit of a cheap elbow in on Mika Vakona. I could understand the frustration. Here's a guy who's got 9 rebounds, and just no matter what you do, you can't seem to keep him off the glass. I'd like to get a cheap one in here and there too.
Basketball 101 with Casey. That's how he plays the game. Just got to remind him that you are there, right?
Always got to keep it on the mind.
Bruton's in the game for the Breakers. Wilkinson gets the pass. Contact. Davidson was standing his ground though. Good defense. As Penny has 8 for the game. Fading to the right with the shot clock expiring. Big basket from Kirk Penny.
And he's looking to get going offensively here. Only had 6 at the half, which wasn't got quite up to his standards. Really looking to be a bit more aggressive here in the second.
Lead is 7. Campbell puts it on the floor. Tough right-hand layup, and Paul Hanare gets him. Paul Hanare can't believe it, but he is called for the foul.
Matt Campbell with a nice move there. Always have to respect his jump shot. And he gives a good up fake, and he's got really put a lot of time into putting the ball on the floor, getting that one dribble down, and creating space either for the one dribble pull-up, or this time he just kind of floats it to the rim, tosses it up with the offhand, and draws the contact.
It's a good third quarter for Kirk Penny, though. 4 points already. He only had 6 in the first half. Kept very quiet in the game against Cairns. Just 9 points for the game.
And as being a scorer, having that scorer's mentality like Kirk does, that's always going to be something in the back of his mind that I gotta get a couple more shots on the board. Come on, give me a couple of looks here. You see that aggressiveness coming out right now.
The veteran Matt Campbell misses both free throws. Breakers come away with it. Wilkinson looks at the 3. Doesn't drop for him though. Nice hustle between Vakona and Bruton, but the Hawks can't get it. Excuse me, the Hawks do get it. Somebody needs to pick up Oscar Foreman, says Mika Vakona. He says, right, I'll do it. Davidson brings the ball up for the Hawks. Conrad drives on CJ Bruton, and he plays the veteran defense.
The veteran defense.
Well, that was veteran defense.
A little bit of...
Hasn't quite got the lateral movement like he used to, you have to say.
Ooh.
And he leant on him.
A little bit of a Olay, bullfighter.
It's smart. It's a good defense. Just that he got called for a foul.
Always good defense when you get called for a foul, but you see that aggressiveness offensively from Tim Conrad still. He even hit that shot even though it didn't count to be in.
3 team fouls for the Breakers. And we have a whistle on the baseline. And another foul on CJ Bruton. Bumping the cutter.
Just got a little aggressive with that bump. Instead of bumping him with the chest like the big fellows.
Like the veterans?
CJ tried to got a little bit of elbow in there, and Matt Campbell did a good job of selling the foul. And
you know what he should have done?
Resetting the shot.
He should have leaned on him.
Basketball 101 from Andrew. Thank you. Leaned on him. I like it.
Yeah. Leaned him on the baseline. Davidson with the ball because it's Irvin. 14 fouls now for the Breakers. Hasn't been a great night with the referees so far at the North Shore Event Centre. Irvin. Braswell just rises up over the top and drills a 3 with a second left on the shot clock. Gary Irvin is supposed to be injured.
Well, maybe he is injured, he would have had like about 40 by now if he was 100%.
Wow.
But good recognition there. Saw exactly how much time was in the shot clock. Had the defender scared that he was going to try and penetrate, but all he needed to do was create a bit of space, and he created that space and hits the jump shot.
13 points for Gary Irvin. They're playing like a team that has not lost 7 games in a row. CJ Bruton, 3 on the shot clock. Can't get the shooter's roll. And Davidson has the ball for the Wollongong Hawks. Down 4. Looking to eat into this lead. The Breakers have on them in this third quarter. 4:26 gone. Tried to seal off Gary Wilkinson and Larry Davidson, but the pass was too strong from Foreman. The Breakers have the ball.
Gary Wilkinson did a good job of closing the space on Larry Davidson. He had a bit of space for the pass, but as the ball went up in the air, he really put his body on him. I think he leaned on him to force that turnover.
That is good defense when you lean on someone. Veteran defense. Kirk Penny has Reese Martin on him. Gets the seam. He gives it to Boucher, as he just lost the handle a little bit. Bridges in the game, looking for position. Conrad is called for the blocking foul on CJ Bruton. It's team foul number 4 for the Hawks. So the Breakers will inbound it on the side.
And a bit too aggressive with that defense. Knowing that he had CJ Bruton, he didn't want to give up the three-point shot. Got up and in, and CJ took advantage of it, put the ball on the floor, drew the contact, and gives him another 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Conrad takes a seat for the Hawks as Tyson Demos, Wollongong local, has checked in the game for the Hawks. 7 on the shot clock. Penny for 3. Yes, Kirk Penny. 11 points for the New Zealand star.
Kirk Penny says, oh, we're bringing a new guy. Why don't we take me off of a couple of screens here down in the wing so I can get an open three-point shot?
Score check 13 for Kirk Penny. He's covering Tyson Demos. Foreman faces up on Pledger, who just gives it to Dylan Boucher. Kirk Penny is looking for a shot in this third quarter. They need more production out of him in this game. It's Bruton, a little strong. Martin comes up with it, gives it to Irvin. Irvin's in the open court. Gives it to the trailer, who is Foreman. Easy 3 for him, no good. Boucher holds it in. Breakers by 7. Braswell gets in the lane, tied up by Foreman on the help. Penny just goes round. Irvin gives it to Braswell for 3. Rims in and out. Irvin comes up with it. Puts the Jets on. Bounce pass to Martin. Nice work from Reece Martin.
Good catch and finish there. Did a great job of catching and gathering the basketball. 2-foot dribble, 2-foot jump stop, finish strong. And with the length that Reece Martin has in those arms, it was an easy finish for him.
Kirk Penny will take a seat for the Breakers as Tom Abercrombie checks in. On the floor for the Hawks. Irvin, Martin, Davidson, Tyson Demos and Dave Gruber. For the Breakers, Pledger, Bruton, Boucher, Braswell and Abercrombie. Gary Irvin, 13 points. Matched by Kirk Penny, 13 points, leading scorers for the Hawks and the Breakers respectively. Just a 5-point lead, 55-50. Abercrombie, fall away. We have a whistle on the floor. Gruber got Thomas Abercrombie, and he'll go to the line.
Gruber doesn't know what the official saw on that play. He's trying to look around and see who he caught the foul on. As Thomas Abercrombie drove to the basket there, and he did the jump stop and faded away, and Gruber just got caught a little bit with his hand out of position.
Front rims at Thomas Abercrombie on the first shot. Imagine if the Wollongong Hawks had their full complement of players. You'd imagine that they'd match, at least keep pace with the New Zealand Breakers so far in the season. Just some cruel twists of fate to key players. Just kept them out of the top 4, looking in. Martin with Bruton on him. 6 to shoot. Gives it inside. CJ Bruton goes to the floor. Nice hustle from CJ Bruton. The veteran roll as the ball goes out, and the Wollongong Hawks have 2 to shoot it.
Just a bit of disbelief by CJ Bruton there. He's, oh, I've got it. Oh, don't let me lose it. Good defense, uses his quickness. Oh, can't believe it. It's just disbelief on his face there.
The smooth, soft leather of the Spalding, just on the fingertips, just out of reach. Martin directing traffic. Need to get a quick shot here, as we need a towel just to give the ball a bit of a wipe. Quite muggy tonight inside the North Shore Event Centre, Casey.
A lot of humidity going around. It's a tough building to play in when it gets like that, because it does form a lot of moisture on the floor. As you see the towel boys doing a great job there, trying to keep the players safe out there on the court. Hawks trying to talk about it with only 2 seconds left and 6 points down and a tight game. You know, every possession is going to be more and more important. And they really want to run the right play here and try and find a look. Got to be looking for something quick though with only 2 seconds left.
Here we go. Martin quickly inbounds it to Davidson. The turnaround lefty. Gruber gets the rebound though. Stuffed by Pledger. People on the floor. Demos comes up with it. Gives it to Irvin. And they get a fresh 24. Irvin telling Gruber to get out of the way. There's Bruton on him. Likes the matchup. Step back. Oh, wow. Gary Irvin. What a move to clear off C.J. Bruton.
Just after I give the Cowboys a bit of a compliment, I see that C.J. Bruton got slipped up there. At least I hope he did. I don't think he's pulling the vet move saying I slipped accidentally.
Gauchip gives it to Pledger. Shape to shoot. Front of the rim. Bruton again losing his balance, and he can't believe that he didn't get a foul called. The Breakers still have it. As Pledger briefly had a mismatch with Martin on him. Might have been Demos. C.J. Bruton wants a 4-point play, and he earned it. And of course, Dallas Pickering has teed him up. Because C.J. Bruton is not happy at all. And wait till you see the replay. He has every right to be angry at Dallas Pickering.
Fired up. You don't see C.J. Bruton that fired up at the official very often. And when he is, there has to be a good reason. I'd like to see this replay, see exactly what happened, but CJ gets the open shot in the corner, and there's a lot of contact on the arm there. You know, from the perspective, you know, if I'm shooting that ball, somebody just takes my arm out, that has to be a foul. That's what CJ's saying there. Who cares if I made it? It's a foul. But the officials, all those fouls they were calling early, I guess they've changed their mind on the way they want to call it late.
Well, the play before that, C.J. Bruton got hip-checked almost into the advertising hoardings, and he wanted to whistle it in. It hasn't been a very happy couple of minutes for C.J. Bruton. Sure, he hit the three.
I think it's mostly, hey, I've been in this league too long to let these young fellas knock me around like this.
Demos makes one of two. And this just might spark the Breakers up a little bit, especially C.J. Bruton. We've seen him take over games before. Gets a little bit angry, gets a little bit fired up.
And they do need a little bit more energy right now. The Hawks still hanging around, 5-point lead to the Breakers right now. A bit more energy offensively and defensively, do exactly what the doctor ordered.
Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Breakers up 5. Whistle on the baseline. Guess who? C.J. Bruton called for the baseline foul.
Just can't seem to get away from the officiating right now.
That's the 15th foul as well. So the Breakers will have to sit through with C.J. Bruton's 4th personal foul.
Leaving him in there. Breakers decide to leave him in there, let him keep playing with it. Hopefully that fire that he's showing right now will get better of him offensively. They're talking about it there on the bench. I don't know if you want to leave him in with 4 fouls in such a tight game.
Reese Martin makes one of 2. Lead is 4. Full court pressure from the Wollongong Hawks. Bruton has a 2-on-1. Pledger holds it up. Braswell gives it to Vicona. Abercrombie gives it to a cutting Pledger. Pledger's almost had a 3-point play, and he'll go to the line. It's Kirk Penny comes into the game as C.J. Bruton will set up the last 37.8 seconds of this third quarter. And it's been an arm wrestle this quarter. 13 points to the Breakers, 12 to Wollongong, who have kept pace with the league leaders.
And that's something that they were always going to do. They've done a great job even during this losing streak of staying in ball games, being right there. And tonight's no different. This is the building that they won in earlier this year. They're the only team in the league, other than the Breakers, to do so this season. And they're like, hey, we've done it before. Why can't we do it again?
Pledger misses the first, makes the second. Wollongong wanted, they could have a 2-for-1 opportunity to end the quarter. Martin loses the handle briefly, picks it back up. 10 left to get a shot off. Irvin, he's the man to do it though. It stops and pops. A little strong as Pledger pulls it down. 15 seconds. Shot clock is off. Braswell with the ball. gives it to Abercrombie. 4 to shoot, loses the handle. Davidson, half court, heave, got if it goes. Hits the backboard. Breakers lead 60 to 55, Casey. And the Wollongong Hawks are more than in this.
And they're just hanging around, they're hanging around. And as the game comes down to its final moments, I think they're still going to be around right now because they're doing a great job defensively, and offensively they're just doing just enough to stay in this game and keep the pressure on the Breakers.
All right, let's go down and listen to what Dylan Boucher and the veterans have to say in the Breakers hub.
Job being aggressive at the rim, okay? On walk-up situations, let's get a little bit of four. All right, let's get a little bit of four, so there's movement, and then there's an on-ball screen, and then we get after that. If you're not being guarded, all right, when you're not being guarded, and it comes to you, it can't stick. Like, you're not being guarded, so it's like looking. Stay with the play. Just stay with the play and let the ball do some work for us and get a little bit of play. At some stage in this, we've got to get a trans quick, so let's just do it on the first side. We don't understand the second side, and again, with that guy who's not being guarded, same as when we run shakes. Here, whack, go ahead and make that a down screen from the 4-man, so it's you. All right, make that a
Wing
down
catches, we're in our 1. Okay? Middle on ball with, if it's Braswell, okay, you got to come out, be aggressive on it with the other 4 guy, don't get caught on the back. We want to come out here and we want to run some pops. Blue pops. You guys come off, but don't come off to shoot it every time. Come off also to get some post up. Okay? When we go high-low action, don't try and throw it over, but get it on, take it pop, lift the other guy and get the duck in with it. Okay? You look to get to the ring as much as possible. But hey, keep going through hands. Keep going through hands. Press and change our D zone. Hawks. 1, 2, 3.
Two very, very stern messages from both head coaches as we look at the points by quarter. And it was a very low scoring and tight third quarter for both teams, 14 to 12. The Breakers lead by 5. And we're into the final stanza. The last 10 minutes. It's the Breakers. People were talking about getting free burgers if they scored over 100 points tonight because the Wollongong Hawks have had a bad stretch. Casey, you told me pre-match. I don't think so. I think it's going to be low scoring. You look like a genius.
It doesn't happen very often,
I know.
so I'll take it if I can.
We're underway. Irvin kicks it out to Conrad. Shoots it over Abercrombie. And it didn't even touch the rim. Tim Conrad is having an excellent night for the Wollongong Hawks.
Really shooting a nice ability to shoot the basketball, especially on that one dribble pull-up. He's doing a great job with that.
15 for Conrad in the game. Just 5 assists for the Wollongong Hawks tonight. Heck of a lot of free throws though, as Braswell fades. Hawks come up with it. Irvin, no signs of that injury. They have a tough road trip here tonight. Sunday night, they have to play the Melbourne Tigers, who, well, our club is in a bit of disarray themselves. Firing the coach, dropped an import. It's Conrad with the floater. It won't drop, but no one boxed out Larry Davidson. And the Hawks are down just 1.
And they've kept plugging away the entire game, and here they are, only down 1 point.
The Kona spin move, beautiful. Couldn't get the finish though. One of the whistle. As the Breakers try to hustle back on defense, and Gary Irvin just straight stone cold lost it.
And the Breakers were lucky to get away with that one there. You can see the loose ball. A couple of Breakers players, Kurt Penny and Tom Santacroix, each looking at each other. Well, do you want to get it? Do you want to get it? And in the meantime, the Hawks said, well, we want to get it, chase it down, but just a bit of bad luck. Weren't able to hold on to it around the basket.
And Andre Lamasse did not like what he saw in that last 1 minute and 20 seconds of the fourth quarter because he's called the timeout. And it could easily have been the Wollongong Hawks lead if Gary Irvin had just held on to that pass. All right, let's go down to the floor and hear from Dennis Katsanos.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. I'm with Sean Quincy, one of just 2 men in New Zealand to row from New Zealand to Australia, or in your case, it was from Australia to New Zealand. Sean, I noticed you got the Surf Lifesaving kit on, so what brings you to the Breakers tonight?
Oh, tonight I'm just getting back to the grassroots and doing a bit of collecting for Moringi Bay Surf Club and celebrating 100 years of surf lifesaving in New Zealand. So it's good to be out here.
Now, tell us, I know it took you 54 days. Is it true about 36 of those you were going backwards?
Yeah, about 36 of those, and eventually covered about 4,500 kilometres. So,
at one point of those 36 days, did you go, right, I'm chucking it in? That's
Yeah.
it. I'm going backwards. I'm getting closer to Australia. That's it.
oh yeah, after about 2 days, I was I'd had enough of it. But yeah, it was always a battle out there, and always really, really hard pressed to find some motivation to keep going. Definitely.
Did you want to just sort of prove it to yourself that, you know, your dad had done it, he went New Zealand to Australia, and you thought, right, I'm going to do this no matter what?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was always about just sort of making sure I could equal his feat and also be the first person to get from Australia to New Zealand. So it was always a challenge there.
And very quickly, I heard you were nude for 4 days.
4 was being understatement, mate, as much as I could be. Yeah.
All right, thanks very much. Enjoy the game.
Cheers. All right.
Excellent, Dennis. Thank you very much as Kirk Penny curls and hits a 3. The Breakers lead is 4. In the fourth quarter, turnover. Thomas Abercrombie got his hand in there. He comes up with the ball, and Conrad bumps him. And that is the first foul of the fourth quarter.
And the Breakers have come out with a bit more quickness and aggressiveness offensively, trying to do a bit of a better job to push the ball and get a better look, trying not to fall into that trap and letting the Hawks control the tempo. And here we see Kirk Penny, what he's so good at, coming off the screen, catch and shoot. When he gets in rhythm, just a tough shooter to stop from scoring.
That is Conrad's 4th foul. He'll take a seat. It's on the floor for the Hawks. Irvin, Martin, Campbell, Davidson and Foreman for the Breakers. Hanare, Penny, Vicona, Wilkinson and Abercrombie. Foreman sinks off for Hanare. And he just lays it up off the glass.
And they left him alone at the top of the key saying, hey, this guy's not going to shoot it. And he's such a smart player. He said, well, if I don't want me to shoot it, I'll just take it right at Asker Foreman and lay it up.
I think Paul Hanare has seen that defensive look probably a few times in his career, so he knows how to get a good high percentage shot off. As Davison gets the contact, no whistle. Vicona rips down another board. He's been a monster tonight on the glass. The Hawks struggle every game to rebound, and tonight it's just been the same. As Billy Mildenhall calls a bit of a walk on Gary Wilkinson. Got the happy feet. Turnover, Breakers.
And just getting stopped by the defense there, trying to do a little bit too much instead of just coming to the jump stop, kicking it out, restarting the offense. Thought maybe he saw something, could have seen around the player for a bit of a layup, but ends up getting the travel.
The Breakers just shooting 42% on the game tonight. The Wollongong Hawks 40%. But 17 of 25 from the free throw line for the visitors. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Martin turns the corner. Irvin finds Campbell, who's open. Head fake. Good if it goes. As Penny just tips it to Reece Martin. It bounces around a little bit. Davison tries to tip it in. Wilkinson is fighting for it. Who keeps it? It's Martin. Lob pass to Davison, who stuffs himself on the rim. And Mika Vicona is out of bounds. Somebody wants it. That's farcical. And Mika Vicona can't believe it. What is going on? It's crazy.
Well, Mika knew the rule there. He was the last person to touch the ball before it went out of bounds. He saved it, and he knows it. He must have thought there that he couldn't be the first person to touch it coming back in. Try to protect it, try and get one of the Breakers back to it. But man, the Hawks just can't catch a break right now. Larry Davidson looked like he had the wide open layup. Mika Vicona just kind of dribbles it, bounces away. What's going on? Don't know. Hawks ball.
11 rebounds, 8 points for Mika Vicona, just 2 off a double-double. Davidson, big contact from Wilkinson. Spins baseline, and Wilkinson has picked up the foul. That's just his second.
And Larry Davidson says, finally. I've been getting this contact all night long, and I can't buy a trip to the line, but does a good job of staying low, using his body, and he's always such a dangerous player when he goes to that left-handed hook, and this time was able to draw the foul.
There's been a big matchup tonight between Davidson and Wilkinson. Davidson winning the battle there. Another free throw, but this time they missed. Made 17 tonight. It's kept them in this game.
those free throws that did keep him in the game so well in the first half. Missing a couple of freebies here, and in such a tight ball game that at the end of it might come back to bite him.
The lefty makes the second as Tim Conrad checks in the game. Matt Campbell, the veteran, he'll sit down.
See that matchup between Thomas Abercrombie and Tim Conrad. See if they don't try and go at Conrad there, knowing he's got the 4 fouls and won't be able to play as tight a defense as he'd like to.
Here it is, Abercrombie for 3. No good, but Mikavakona again in the middle of 3 Hawks. Almost got another offensive board.
It's like he's got magnets in his hands that just attract basketballs. Everybody else is there, but he gets his hand on it. Just couldn't quite tip it to Wilkinson in that instance.
Reece Martin was just let into the teeth of the Breakers defense.
They've got to be questioning, where was the defense there? He just dribbles from one end of the court to another. Nobody stops him before he gets the layup.
Andre Lamanis can't be happy with that as Kevin Braswell comes off the bench. And Tim Conrad has just picked up his 5th foul, just like you said, Casey. Thomas Abercrombie went at him, and he's going to the floor.
Thomas Abercrombie would feel like he has a bit of a quickness advantage out there on the perimeter. Looked like pretty good defense by Conrad there. He did a good job of moving his feet, but just couldn't quite square up. Tried to flail back a bit and get the charge call, but the officials didn't see it that way, so it's an early night for Tim Conrad after he did an excellent job of shooting the basketball and keeping him in it with his great play.
Certainly has, and the Starship Hospital and Breakers connection continues. 2 families tonight at the table, the Douglas Palmer family from Matakana Island and the Sullivans from Tauranga. It's great to see them take time out and be able to get to the Breakers and check out the best team in the NBL championship. Braswell has the ball. The Breakers up 3. Wilkinson guarded by Foreman. Spins baseline, sweet move from Gary Wilkinson, and he'll go to the line with a late whistle.
And just a great move. You know, you look at Gary Wilkinson, you think he looks like a bigger, slower guy, but you just see the quickness there. Oscar Foreman, not too slow himself, and Gary Wilkinson just puts on a spin cycle.
Wow.
Look at that. Take him to the laundromat.
Oscar Foreman was still facing the same way. That's how quick it was.
Surprising to everybody except for Gary Wilkinson, I think.
Free throw can't drop, so the Breakers lead is 5. Braswell on Martin. Someone needs to step up from the Hawks and take the game by the scruff of the neck and get their first lead for the game. Wilkinson pops out. Foreman has it. Goes baseline, shut down nicely by Mikavakona. Irvin for 3 as the shot clock expired. And Kevin Braswell went to the floor. Gary Irvin with a big-time shot.
And Gary Irvin did a great veteran move there. CJ Bruton was all over him, and he just shoved him off. CJ fell to the ground, and Irvin gets the open look and just nails the big 3-pointer to keep him in the ballgame.
Rather CJ on the floor. Penny has Foreman on him. A long, long 3. Oh, yeah, Kirk Penny. That'll get the crowd back in the game.
And Oscar Foreman a little bit concerned about the drive there. But he should know, he played with that guy for quite a few years, that when Kirk gets the ball at the top of the key, his first thought is 3-point shot. He was in the NBA camps earlier this year. He's got range well beyond that 3-point line, and that time he showed it.
Just the 6th 3-pointer of the game for the Breakers. They've attempted 23. And let's go down into the Breakers bench to listen to Paul Hanare and the coaching staff.
Everybody rebound. Time of defense, I've always covered it. Layup's bullshit, that last one tough. Irvin looks much more like pull-up right now because of his groin, all right? So keep playing into that. Next time down, we're trans, all right? Trans through. So Gary, you go to the first screen and we get on. We get cutter here. We're coming out. Kirk, you try to be that first cutter, okay? So when we get back to the second side, cutter, Gary here, hard Kirk, and Gary's picking pop. All right, Gary's picking pop, and we've got spot up on the weak side of the floor. So, trans through to the second side. Hey, keep playing the defense. We're going to take away threes, and we're going to rebound right now. Everything's contested. 1, 2, 3. Hey, they're coming over the back. You got to be smart. You got fast and
Well, Andre Lamanis draws up a play there. He expects the Hawks to play dotted defense on Kirk Penny. But there we see Gary Irvin just nailing three, all open by himself. But Kirk Penny at the top of the key, that's a sweet sight to behold from behind, down on the baseline. He just nails that one every time.
Kirk Penny, a much better shooting night than in the win against Cairns. He's 8 of 15 tonight, 3 of 7 from behind the line. He's got 19 points. And he leads the Breakers. As the Hawks still hanging around, down 5, 9 and 9 on the season. Martin has the ball. 9 to shoot. Davidson, there's that matchup again. They like it. Left hand soft touch, can't get the roll. He gets it back though, and is fouled as he goes to the floor, and Gary Wilkinson is going to be called for that one.
Well, Oscar Foreman does a great job of keeping him alive with the tip, but Larry Davidson doesn't quit on the play. He missed a tough baseline jump shot, falls out of bounds, but once he saw that his teammate kept it alive, he barrels his way back into the play, forces his way to the rim, and gets to the line to try and keep this ball game within reach.
Wollongong Hawks shooting free throws again. 19 of 28 for the game. Reece Smart and Gary Irvin on the floor. Tyson Demos back in. Foreman and Davidson. Makes the second. Breakers lead by 3. Braswell has Irvin on him. Lamanos wants them to go at him. Test that groin out. He's played pretty much the whole game. There's Gary Irvin. He looks good. As people go to the floor, Wilkinson and Demos are hammered, and so is Kirk Penny.
Bodies everywhere laying around. Looks like a train wreck out there.
Wow. Demos did not look well when he went to the floor, and then I looked over and Kirk Penny was wincing as well as he went over. He just caught Wilkinson.
Contact galore out there. Tyson Demos trying to play that tough D, ran into Gary Wilkinson. You see it there, smashed him a little bit. Might be a bit of a legal screen, I think, but then Kirk Penny gets the ball, goes to the line, tries to go through Oscar Foreman, ends up getting the block called on him there. But you know, down here in the stretch of the ball game, you got the Hawks trying to claim back a playoff spot. You got the Breakers trying to stay on top of the table. You know, these guys are fighting for playoff position right now. And the Hawks really fighting for their playoff lives, and that's what you want to see, is bodies on the line.
Well, in the first quarter, there would have been multiple fouls called. It is the fourth quarter, 4:27 to go. The referees are letting them play. As we wipe down half of the North Shore Event Centre of sweat after 3 large men hit the floor hard.
Don't know where you got to go with that comment there. Not a lot of flow coming from 3
Well,
large men hitting the floor.
They're still tallying it up. It's a humid night in here. Breakers up 3.
Nice little break here for the Hawks to get together, really try and set their defense on the next possession, giving them a little bit of break. They got a bit of a thinner bench, so a bit of a breather might do them some good. And the Breakers got a chance to talk over, what are we going to run here? Let's, you know, Kirk Penny, he's got 19 points right now. I'd be surprised if they don't try and get into his hands again to try and extend the lead.
Bruden has it, sets his feet, gives it to Penny, 9 to shoot. Matt Campbell on him. Penny needs to get a shot off, leans in, can't get it, comes away with it as Matt Campbell. Reece Martin puts it up to Irvin, just mistimed it a little bit.
And that's where you'd like to see just a little bit more of a conservative play. Only down 3 points in a 4-minute game, which you have what should have been a wide open layup, turns into a turnover, and that could be a real momentum swing here tonight.
If he had thrown that down, if he had caught it and dunked or at least laid it up, that would have given him a lot more confidence heading into the closing minutes of this game. Wilkinson for 3. Martin has the board. Gary Irvin just limping a little bit there. A little bit ginger now. Still, he explodes to the ball there as he goes to the floor. Slippery surface. Braswell gives it to Wilkinson, who is just hammered by Davidson. And we have an unsportsmanlike call.
Now, see, I don't like that call. You got bodies flying all over the place here in the fourth quarter. They're playing a physical basketball game. You saw 3 guys hit the ground previous. And here, Larry Davidson, it's a good hard foul. He hit the ball out of his hand. to call the flagrant foul there, you know, that's just really unfortunate. In such a tight ball game, two teams playing so hard. It's just a call that I can't agree with.
You do want the players to decide the outcome of a game. And that is a basketball foul that happens in games like this.
You know, they're out there competing. You know, they're out there trying to get a win. It was no ill will there. There was no intent. He didn't hit him in the back. He got his hands on the basketball. But, you know, the home crowd here loves it. They're making some noise now. They got the 5-point lead. And, you know, 2 free throws with a chance to extend it. This could really put the game out of reach with only 3.5 minutes left. 11
points for Gary Wilkinson. And that was just Davidson's second foul for the game. With an unsportsmanlike foul like that, the Breakers get the 2 foul shots and they also get the ball back. They score here. And that is a big momentum shift in favor of the home team.
But there's been several moments tonight when I would have thought that the Wollongong Hawks were dead, but they've always found a way to keep coming back, to claw their way back in it. And it just is really a testament to the character of this team that no matter what the obstacle, they always seem to think that they can overcome it.
Lost in the mix of tonight's game, you have to say the league's 2 leading scorers going at it. Gary Wilkinson, he averages 15 a game. Kirk Penny, 19 tonight, along with Gary Irvin, who has 19, who leads the league with 22 a game. And we worried more about Gary Irvin's injury than we did about the matchup between him and Kirk Penny, who would lead their team to victory tonight.
Well, you see Gary Irvin pointing out all the wet spots, because when you've got a bit of a tender groin out there, the last thing you want to do is try and plant your feet and end up falling down. So I'd be concerned if I was him too, but not a lot you can do when on a humid night like tonight, that parquet floor down there just gets real tough to catch grip on.
All right, we're underway again. The Breakers with that 5-point lead. 3.5 to go. Penny curling, 3 on the way, in and out. Mikavakona, another offensive rebound. And Kirk Penny gets it back. Great rebounding night for Mikavakona.
He's been do everything tonight. And just once again, he's got those magnets. The ball goes right to it.
What you really have to like about Mikavakona, he was in foul trouble as Braswell loses his footing. He was in foul trouble in the first quarter, 2 quick fouls, and he has controlled it nicely since he's come back. Irvin, 3 on the way for him. Braswell tracks down the board. Still, it's a 5-point lead. And Matt Campbell is fouled by Gary Wilkinson. He'll go to the line. That's a tough foul as well.
He did a good job there of getting enforcement earning the line there, but a tough break for the Hawks there. Great recognition by Matt Campbell to give the quick kickback right to Irvin. But just on this moment, he wasn't able to hit it. And there we see Gary Wilkinson running down the lane. A good hard foul by Matt Campbell to make him earn it at the line.
We've got a timeout on the floor as Matt Campbell is called for his 3rd foul. Tough road trip for them. They have to go to Melbourne on Sunday. Hopefully the injured Glenn Saville will meet them there. And let's go down and listen to Gordy McLeod and see what he has to say in the closing minutes.
We're good on that. You got to get off and help. You got to box the corner out and you got to rebound. Down here, we've got to be a little bit aggressive now. So made of this, we want to go drags, okay? On a made up 5. Larry, you or Ozzy, fill in behind. We'll get a 3-point shot. If not, what we want is back cut out, second side, pick and pop over here. Now, hey, it's now not about one guy start yelling, move the ball and get the ball to the open guy. Okay? On a miss, we're in trans D. On a made, we're pressing 2, 1, 2, back. 4's up, 2 and 3 back. 1, 2, 3.
Gordy McLeod there doesn't want to see his team rely too much on Gary Irvin. He seems to think that they've been trying to look for him just a bit much, trying to depend on him to get it out. And he's saying, hey, other guys are open, move the ball around, whoever's there, take the shot. We've got talented offensive players and we can get it done as a team.
Gary Foreman, excuse me, Oscar Foreman. Oscar Foreman had a big night last time they were here, a double-double tonight, kept in check, just 2 points for the former breaker. It's Gary Wilkinson. A lot of Garys tonight, actually just 2. He'll go to the line.
More Garys than normal, to say the least.
More Garys than normal, yeah, thanks. Thanks, Casey. More mopping of the floor. It's not a great parquet floor, is it? You played here many times.
It's not one of my favorite floors to play on, but you know, on top of being a little slippery, it's also really hard. So you've got that going for it.
Might not have the dead spots like the old Boston Garden did. It had a parquet floor. It's probably that floor steeped in a little bit more history than the one here.
Well, the Boston Garden, the North Shore Event Center, is not. But the Breakers are looking to try form a little bit of history themselves here in this building this year.
Thank you for that, Casey. 74-67, the Breakers leading the Hawks. The lead extended by Gary Wilkinson as Foreman goes to work on him. The fall away. Nice work from Oscar Foreman on the baseline.
And just when you thought he was going to be quiet for the night, he comes up and hits a big shot. That's a tough look on the baseline, but comes right into his offensive game.
2 minutes 23 to go. Matt Campbell harassing Kevin Braswell, who's a grin on his face. The veteran Matt Campbell. Bacona can't get it. Matt Campbell looks like your geography teacher, doesn't he? He looks like you've turned up to Wollongong Hawks practice and you're going, oh, there's Mr. Campbell from geography. Didn't know he played basketball.
Well, I think he's looked like a veteran since about his second year in the league. You know, he's never, it doesn't look like your average professional athlete, but you know, as far as hard workers go, he's at the top of the list. He's always out there putting his body on the line. And you know, as well as not only that, but did a great job of, you know, keeping the Hawks in the league when they were in such financial trouble. He's really spearheaded that effort to keep them going as a franchise.
Absolutely. They won the championship in 2001. And they've been in the finals a couple of times, obviously most recently last season against the Perth Wildcats. And he's been in the middle of some great Wollongong Hawks teams and some lean times as well for the franchise. Gary Irvin looking to hit a second free throw. Up the trip. Lead is now just 3. The Breakers just can't shake the Hawks, who have played a fantastic game tonight. Pacing themselves with the top team. Campbell right up in Braswell again. Irvin's on Penny. Penny looks to go to work on Gary Irvin. Nice jump shot from Kirk Penny.
And just too much size there. Gary Irvin had the quickness to stay in front of him, but Kirk knew he had the size advantage, so he just pushed him off and hit the jump shot.
Oscar Foreman just set a big screen on Braswell, who's shaken up. Martin into the lane, kicks it to Irvin. Irvin over Penny. Air ball, but Davidson's there to clear it up.
And he just forces it over the rim. Hit it in the bottom, and it still goes in.
He willed it. And we're going to check out a couple of wet spots on the floor. And Dallas Pickering's giving the ball a bit of a wipe. As Gordy McLeod urges his team to get into that full court press that they run.
All about possession now. The Breakers want to stretch out that clock, make that shot clock last as long as possible, use up all 24 for these possessions here. The Hawks trying to speed it up, trying to force a turnover if they can. They're in the foul trouble for the bonus, so if they do foul, they'll send the Breakers to the line, and pretty soon here, if they're not able to cut it a little closer, it's going to be fouling time. Try to depend on the Breakers' miss some free throws, but I don't think we're quite at that point yet. Expect to see them try and steal to at least get it to half court.
Well, Andre Lamanos told me before the game that the Hawks, yeah, they're sure they've lost 7 games, but those 7 games have been close. They haven't been a lot of blowouts. And again, they're in another tight one as CJ Bruton keeps his mouth shut, sees everything with his eyes as he was bumped and lost the ball out of bounds. And Wollongong have the ball down 3 with 1:14 to go.
Just a great play by Matt Campbell in the corner. Even though he was guarding the shooter, Kirk Penny, he still was able to reach in, get a hand on the ball when CJ Bruton was driving it, knock it off his leg, and retain possession.
Yeah, Matt Campbell's played some great defense in the last couple of minutes as Gary Irvin can't get the spin move to finish.
Oh, what a great move. Just unfortunate he couldn't quite get the finish there, but we saw the spin cycle once again.
Braswell goes to the floor, slips on a wet spot. And Dallas Pickering will stop play. And out come the Tau kids to wipe it up.
How much they paid these Tau kids? I don't think they were expecting this kind of workload tonight. Out there working overtime. I think this is against the child labor laws here in New Zealand.
I'm unfamiliar with those, Casey. But they are doing a great job tonight, getting out there. at the behest of the officials and the players.
It's the last thing you want to see is a game decided that's this close on what would be just an accidental step on the court somewhere, so they're doing their best trying to keep it dry. But as we've said a few times tonight, just a tough job to do here in this in the North Shore Event Center. A lot of humidity, especially when the crowd gets here in the middle of summer with a bit of cloud forming overhead as we had today.
Oh wow, you even do the weather as well. Is that how it works?
Multifaceted. Humidity, low pressure system comes in.
51.8 seconds to go in the game. The Breakers up 3. The Hawks have never led, but they have hung around. Thomas Abercrombie trying to get it underway. It's Reece Martin. More good defense on Kevin Braswell, who may need to change his shoes. He's gone down again. Turnover. That will kill you with less than a minute to go. 14 on the shot clock. Irvin, backdoor cut. Can't get it to drop. Foreman, he can't get the rebound to drop either. As Matt Campbell is forced to foul Kirk Penny, and they are in the penalty. And Penny will shoot 3 throws.
You see Gary Irvin thinking he looked like a bit of contact there on that missed layup. He went up with a double pump. Thought he got fouled. Here we see him. He cuts to the basket, goes up with one. Oh, it looks like a bit of contact from C.J. Bruton's back, but Oscar Foreman wasn't able to get the follow in as well. And Gary Irvin just can't believe it. The calls that have been made tonight, not going their ways.
21.
Definitely thinks that was a foul.
21 for Irvin, 4 rebounds tonight for the first-year player in the NBL. It's been a great pickup for this Hawks team. A hint of a pelvis injury is probably more than a hint, I can tell you after the game. And he's had a heck of a game tonight. Most people have written him off. He wasn't supposed to play tonight. It was a game time decision. He warmed up and he has kept the Hawks in the game.
Yeah, he's really did a great job of scoring the basketball. Showed a lot of quickness, a lot of just a very varied skill set, hitting the 3, taking the ball to the rack. But just wasn't able to get the layup to go in there. Kirk Penny stretches out to 4, makes it that much more difficult for the Hawks to get something done here down the stretch.
29.2 to go in the game. Penny misses the second. Hawks need a quick basket. A 3 on the way from Matt Campbell. Probably too quick to get to the 3 at the moment. And Mika Vakona sells the foul. And Oscar Foreman says, I just fouled you. I didn't intentionally foul you. And he gave him a bit of a hug afterwards.
Just at this point of the game, just trying to get the fouls done. Good job by the referees there not to put too much emphasis on that one. Just got to get a foul. Mika Vakona always looks like he gets hit hard. He's going too fast, trying to get in the other direction there.
He sold that one. It was great. He really did a good job of selling that one. You have to say that momentum changer was the unsportsmanlike foul for the Hawks that really killed their confidence somewhat.
But they never quit. Even to this point now, with a 4-point game, Mika Vakona, not exactly countable at the line at all times, but this is the first one. He can hit the second one. Still within reach for the Hawks. 2 shots in 20 seconds. Stranger things have happened.
77, 73. 20.5 seconds. It's an eternity in basketball. Mika Vakona makes the second, but a 5-point lead is fairly hard to overcome. Gordy McLeod is going to do his best to come up with a scheme.
It's just a 2-possession ball game here. If they get the quick 3 and are able to get the steal, still a lot of opportunity for them. Looking to get the hot ball, the hot hand, Gary Irvin tonight, but Oscar Foreman, always a tough 3-point shooter. Matt Campbell obviously has range to go out there to 3, so a lot of options for the Hawks here to choose from. Let's see what they do.
Okay, what we're doing is setting up, okay? We want you guys going off. You 2 guys going off. Okay, Ozzy, you're stepping out, or Larry, you step out, because I expect Ozzy to. So when they go out, step out, we want the 3, all right? But what the first look we want is First look is Soup. You come off 2 and go. Gary, then you go. Larry, you step up. If we don't have anything, you don't have nothing, give it to Gary. Pick and pop and play off that. Okay? It's then, if we score, it's still a 2% game. We got a foul. We want pressure on the inbounder. Okay? Hawks, 1, 2, 3.
From Gordon McLeod's viewpoint there, everybody on the court's a shooter right now. Reese Martin going to take the ball in bounds. And then pretty much whoever gets that first good open look, take it. If not, straight into the on ball. Get it done quickly. Only 20 seconds on the clock here. And whatever they do, they have to do it fast.
Andre Lamana said in his column on stuff.co.nz that the crowd is so important for any home team. The Breakers are willing to stop here as Foreman hoists one. Misses everything except the backboard, and there's 3 breakers after Mika Vakona, and he will go to the line. And you have to say the game is out of reach now for the Wollongong Hawks, and Mika Vakona can hit both free throws.
And a good job by the Breakers on that possession defensively to not give the Hawks an open look. Everybody stuck with their man. They just didn't want to give up any easy looks. When the shot went up, Mika Vakona does a great job of boxing out, grabbing the ball. Tried to look for the quick outlet because he didn't want to get fouled and sent to the line again, but he's happy to go there, puts the pressure on himself, and see if he can't hit a free throw to ice this game away.
First one's good for Mika Vakona, and he gets his double-double, 10 points for this forward. 16 rebounds on the night. 11.7 seconds to go. Martin needs to find someone who's open. Matt Campbell is 3 on the way. That rattles in. Everyone checks the scoreboard. 4-point lead for the Breakers. No timeouts left for the Hawks, though. The Breakers have 2. Braswell has it. Foreman has to foul him. Gets it away. Gives it to Thomas Abercrombie. Dunk coming. It won't count, but it's emphatic. The Breakers survive the Wollongong Hawks, who have played an impressive game tonight, but they fall in their 8th straight defeat. It has been a futile